Hello and thank you for joining us here, a new episode in documentary series of people around the world with their profound spiritual journey here in peace of mind, India, Rajasthan, Mount Abu. We are delighted to host with us Sharona Stillerman, the coordinator of BK in Israel, now in India. Hello, Sharona.
Hello, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Celebrating Peace of Mind Retreat and also 25 years for you leading the Israeli venue. If you would pick one moment, one picture that was the most profound for you personally during these last 25 years, what moment first rise up?
I have two moments. One was the first time I went to Jerusalem after arriving. Within 1 or 2 weeks after arriving, 25 years ago, I went to Jerusalem. And I just felt so strongly that pull to Jerusalem and approaching Jerusalem, more of that pull. And I was just so happy to be back in Israel because about 30 years previous to that, I'd been on an ulpan and I'd lived for 2 years in Israel.
Wow.
And my parents are Jewish, I was raised Jewish, and so you cannot deny the very special vibration of Jerusalem. And that stands out for me, the feeling that on one level, I was where I really needed to be. And I never really wanted to leave Israel, but for different reasons I had to, and I always imagined I would come back, but I didn't until a good 30 years later. So that stands out for me.
What, if you could visualize for us, what exactly did you feel during this visit in Jerusalem?
Well, it wasn't a visit. I was there on service. There was going to be a public program.
Okay.
But it's, the city of Jerusalem just carries a huge amount of meaning and history for a whole population of people. And you feel that. You feel the holiness. You feel the sacredness. You feel what people come to the wall with and what they leave with. The heart opens and receives. It's a place for God, and you can feel that. And so I was just reminded that I was in one of the most exciting places on the planet.
And the second moment that rises?
The second moment is that anyone who really knows me knows that I cannot tolerate the heat. And they were really laughing at me when they learned I was going to Israel to open up the Brahma Kumari's branch in Israel. But I had actually made a deal with God.
And the deal goes?
Yeah, I told him, I'm happy. I say yes, thank you for the opportunity to serve, because I had been serving in Boston, USA. But you have to find me a place that has an air conditioner. Because when I'd been in Israel 30 years before, air conditioners were very, very rare. You didn't have them. So my deal with God was, I'm happy to be your instrument in Israel, but you have to be sure there's an air conditioner in the place that I stay in. And sure enough, we'd been offered an apartment, and there was this rickety old air conditioner in the small living room. And basically, I just stayed there from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And my experience was that I had a front row seat on the greatest show on earth, because the most beautiful people came to me. And I met them, and they sat on the sofa across from me. And we talked and explored and shared the deepest things that help bring meaning and focus and direction to life. And so it was a beautiful, beautiful, I feel like a fortune to meet such good people working genuinely from the heart to keep truth alive through their own lives. And so it was a very privileged experience right from the beginning.
From your perspective here in India, and you were talking with the different branches that there are more than 135 around the world, what would be, from your perspective, the uniqueness of staying and serving in Israel, the Holy Land, near Jerusalem, with all the complexity that you find in Israel throughout all the last years?
The Jewish people, and I'm one of them, are a very old people. So in the New Age language, we say old souls. It means that they are seekers, genuine seekers from the heart, not stopping for half-truths, but believing that there is a truth and reaching, searching deeply for that truth. And it made it so easy to share the 7 truths that we use as a framework for reality. I'd come from a very materialistic culture and society. I'd been serving as a teacher of the Brahma Kumaris in Boston, USA, for 15 years before I was sent to Israel. And of course, there are good people working genuinely from the heart everywhere.
Obviously.
And of course, you have them in the United States too, but it's a very materialistic culture. And whilst you feel that materialism and whatever could be there externally can be a support for you, you're less open to the metaphysical and the internal as a support. So it's a big shift when I came to Israel, because I found, especially at that time, and even now, so much less materialism, less commercialism, and that thirst for the experience of the energy of truth, the vibrations of truth, purity, you know, very big openness to this, and a lot of celebration as we could touch that together.
Towards the end of this conversation, this interview, Sharona, when you visualize 5 years from now, 10 years, 25 years ahead, one specific dream that you would love to accomplish in your spiritual journey?
I feel that people are very desperately needy of even a drop of this true energy of peace. In the Brahma Kumaris, we understand that peace is an energy, love is an energy, joy is an energy. And it's not a physical energy, it's metaphysical, a spiritual energy, and we're made from those energies. Which is why it's so pertinent and relevant to these times to take a bit of time and learn how to go inwards and touch that metaphysical aspect of yourself. And yet, at this point, I don't feel that that journey, momentarily disconnecting from the external, the material, and learning how to go within, I don't think that's best accomplished through more talking and more lessons, because so much is out there so much information and knowledge is out there. So does that really help?
So what would you emphasize?
I believe at this point that what can help people the most is an experience of those peaceful vibrations. And so my hope is that in 5 years' time, I myself would reach such a stage where all that is unpeaceful in me or unloveful or unjoyful in me would have been cleansed, because that's our study, to clear that out of the soul, so that what is originally our blueprint, people could experience that from me just as I walk, as I talk, and I take up my responsibilities and I interact. In 5 years' time, in 3 years' time, I should be more like a mobile lighthouse, so that everybody struggling in the different storms of life can remember easily the peace and the love that's within, and the peace and the love coming to us from up above.
Sharona, thank you so much. And I wish this dream is going to be accomplished during the time frame that you mentioned. And before we finalize this interview, perhaps a few seconds of just being quiet together.
Netanel, you're also a lighthouse. So we do the work together, and the work is being accomplished by so many different hands cooperating and enhancing this energy, which is really our original nature.
Thank you very much.
It takes just a few seconds to turn the mind within, past all the thoughts and the memories, to another space which is just free of all the labels and the roles that define me.
Sharona Stillerman, here in India, thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us also in this episode in Rajasthan, in India, Peace of Mind. Thank you.